Well, hello and welcome to my latest video. Now, as you all know, there is only one, yes, there is only one burning topic of conversation in the news and all over the television at the moment. And no, I'm not talking about a particular place that starts with G. I am talking about bike categories. Yes. What are we going to call the different types of bike and how you can use them and how they should be ridden? Now, I know everybody's getting in on the act. David Arthur, Just Ride Bikes, he's done his bit. Simon Willis, Always Another Adventure, he's done his bit. Even GCN, yes, even GCN have finally gotten in on the act and are talking about it. I don't know if Julia Elliott and Katie Kookaburra have done a video yet. Perhaps they're waiting for a sponsor to come along. Oh, what a mean thing to say. God, it was a joke. It was a joke, ladies and gentlemen. It was a joke. You know, I was thinking actually, if you say something offensive, okay, and you think, oh shit, you know, somebody's taken offence, so you say it was a joke. Now, I think, you see, if you have to say that, I mean, that's a giveaway that it wasn't a joke, wasn't it? I mean, I sometimes wind up my son because I'm kind of that kind of person, and he takes offence. I'll say, oh, it's a joke, though, it's a joke. And of course, it wasn't a joke. I mean, because, you know, I was just being a mean person. Anyway. Oh, Map Deck. There's another one. I quite like Mac. That's a funny name, actually. He's a kind of guy in the Lake District, builds bikes and makes lots of videos, unbelievably detailed videos. I really like watching his stuff. Anyway, he has done a video about it. So I thought all of my faithful subscribers and regular viewers, and even those irregular viewers, are going to think, what does Julian think about the bike category issue that is the burning topic of the day? Well, I'm going to show you a few bikes and I'm going to show you what Julian's bike categories are. And if you disagree, well, if you agree or if you disagree, leave a comment down below, which I shall choose in my usual way probably to ignore. But anyway, let's go and look at the bikes, shall we? Come with me to the bike garage, shed. Anyway, let's go to the place where the bikes are. Well, so this is the first in my bike categories. This is actually a steel bike. It's a Fairlight Seacan. It has a fairly relaxed ride, quite a high head tube. It's got low gearing. This has actually got a one-by system on it, a front chain ring of 40 teeth, and a rear cassette of 11 to 42. So it should be able to get you up some pretty steep gradients. And I'd say this bike has quite wide tyres, incidentally. This has got 35mm tyres, slightly knobbly tyres. So I'd say this bike is suitable for riding on the road, riding on the street, riding on perhaps gravel, footpaths, bridleways, the lanes that we have here in the United States of Kingdom. You may know them as roads or avenues. Even it's quite good for riding on avenues. I wouldn't generally ride it on the motorway, although I have tried that. And I don't also ride it on tram tracks unless the tram isn't there, because there is a tendency for the wheels to get caught in the tram tracks, and then you fall over and break your fucking neck or something like that. And also, it's not really best suited for riding on railway tracks, certainly while the railway tracks are still there, or even if a train is coming or if it's coming up behind me. And so this is the first bike category, and I'm calling this number one, the bicycle. Okay, so it's probably important that you remember that, and you might want to write down these different categories because there will be a test at the end, and also you may have your own ideas about what you think of my bike categories and maybe compare them with GCN, although why you'd want to do that I'm not sure, and then leave a comment down below as to what you think is the best approach. So let's move on to the second bike category. Alright, this is the second bike category. This particular bike is an Orbea Terra, and it's a carbon framed bike, fairly relaxed geometry as the first category was. Yeah, this has got low gears. It's got a chain set at the front, which is a 48-31, and a rear cassette, which is an 11-40. So that should get you up some gradients, perhaps as much as 6 or 7% if you've got, you know, decent strength in your legs. The tyres, these are 32mm tyres on this particular bike, slightly flared handlebars, and again a comfortable ride. So this bike is probably suitable for riding on the road or on paths, bridleways, goat tracks, the kind of lanes that we have in the United States of Kingdom, gravel, commuting perhaps. You probably wouldn't want to ride it on the motorway, and you probably wouldn't want to ride it on, I don't know, a train track, unless perhaps the train has been removed, or even on a tramway, unless of course the tram has been removed and the tracks have been removed, because otherwise it's very easy to crash. So this particular category, I'm calling this a bicycle, although you may notice, those of you who are quite observant, is I've adopted a different spelling. So I'm spelling this as a B-I-C-I-C-L-E, okay, to distinguish it from the first category, which we called the bicycle. So this is bicycle number 2 in our series. So let's move on swiftly and look at bicycle number 3 and see where that fits into the cycle category. Well, this is the third in my series of new improved bike categories, because I'm trying to help the sort of marketing people and the Bicycle Retailers Association. I'm trying to give them some assistance here to help them kind of segment the market, which I believe is quite important too. So this is the third bike. This is actually a Mason Definition. This is an aluminium bike. Relatively relaxed ride. Gearing, decent but not massively low gearing, if you can have such a thing. This has got a 50-34 chain set and an 11-32 cassette at the back. Tyres are not that wide, really 28mm is probably the maximum, particularly if you've got mudguards or fenders, as you call it in the United States of Kingdom. And it's a very nice comfortable ride. So I'd say this one is probably suitable for riding on the road, riding on paths, perhaps riding on a bit of light gravel, riding on the lanes, perhaps commuting, something like that. I probably wouldn't take it on the motorway. I wouldn't also take it on tram tracks, because they're not very safe, and I also don't take it on train, railway tracks. You know, the things that the trains run on. I have tried it, but it didn't really work very successfully, so probably not best for that kind of thing. So this is Julian's third category. So we're calling this the bicycle, but again, you may have noticed that we're spelling it slightly differently. We're spelling it B-Y-C-I-C-L-E. So this is the bicycle, very different from the first bicycle that you saw, very different from the second bicycle that you saw. This is the third bicycle, and as you can see, I think all these bicycles serve different purposes in terms of what you can use them for. So let's now just move swiftly on to the fourth in our bike categories. So finally we reach our fourth category, and you won't be surprised to know that I'm calling this category number 4. Now this is actually a Giant Defy, a carbon bike, relatively low gears. This has a double chain set, a 50-34 at the front and an 11-34 cassette at the rear, so it goes slightly lower than the Mason Definition. This has got 30mm tyres on it, but you can go at least 35, possibly even 38. I haven't tried that wide, but I think you probably could. Again, fairly relaxed geometry. You may wonder what fairly relaxed geometry means. I often wonder that myself, and one of these days I might have a look at GCN and try and work it out, but at the moment I haven't got a fucking idea. But it's very useful, this bike, for riding on the roads, riding on paths, riding on some gravel, riding on lanes, riding on streets, avenues, crescents. I've ridden it on crescents a few times, and I've also got a couple of roads quite near me, one of which is called the Drive. I found it quite good to ride on the Drive. That's not somebody's driveway, that's actually a road that's called the Drive, a little bit confusingly. What else could you ride on? A boulevard, if you wanted to take it to, I don't know, Australia or Japan, places like that, and ride on the boulevards, you could probably do that. I don't think I'd take it on the motorway. And I probably wouldn't take it on tram tracks or even railroad tracks either. You may have realised if you've watched this far, none of these bikes are really ideal for riding through tramways or even on railway tracks, whether or not the train is there, frankly. So we've been through all of the bike categories that Julian has come up with. This is the number four, as we said at the beginning. And we're calling this the bicycle, but you'll notice I've done something fairly clever here. I've spelt this B-Y-C-Y-C-L-E. So this is to distinguish it from the first one, which was a bicycle, the second one, which was a bicycle, and also the third one, which was a bicycle. So it's very different uses for each of these machines. I mean, they all have, what you may have noticed, but one thing they do have in common, they've all got two wheels, they've all got pedals, they've all got saddles, they've all got a handlebar. So in that sense you could say they're all bicycles, and in fact in every sense you could say they're all bicycles. So why the fuck would you bother to segment the marketplace unless you wanted to sell more bicycles to some idiot like me, who, as you can see, has completely fallen for this marketing shit and has ended up buying 4 bicycles which, let's face it, are exactly the same and do the same hacky job on the road. So there we are, a little rant over Julian's categories of bicycles, the burning topic of conversation all over the news, well, except for the other thing obviously. And if you've got ideas of your own, got comments of your own, put them down below. Mick S is one of my favourite subscribers. He always comments and he's usually the first, so let's see if you could be first this time. Anyway, if you like my videos, please like my videos, please subscribe, please make sure you stick around and tune in for more wonderful, brilliant, unsponsored, yes, I am the only cycling YouTuber whose videos are not sponsored by anybody, so you can trust my opinions. They call me Honest Julian down at the pawnbrokers. Honest Julian. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.